is up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C, and welcome to the Tasha podcast. Shout out to my YouTube and podcast fams, hugs and love. And don't forget, if you want to know about my YouTube channel, go to Tasha C TV. But hugs and loves for all the support, positive vibes, energy, recovery, safety, blessings, all this stuff. People who have supported me, and hugs and loves for the people in recovery, your strength, peace, joy, and all that good stuff for people who support me in the future. I appreciate that. I'm sorry I'm about to go on a tangent, y'all, but I'm just gonna let y'all know first. It is 4:36 a.m. in the morning. It is April 25th on Saturday, 2020. Here's what I realized. I only had one day of full sleep, but I have been up since 9 something yesterday morning, and now my body's been back to it's stayed up all night. I only had that one day this week out of the past weeks. Last couple weeks especially. And what I realized, y'all, that might be the culprit. It's good, I guess, because sometimes I can basically get the benefits, say if I drink some type of coffee flavor, or not exactly to be coffee, but like frappuccino, cappuccino, something like that occasionally, or something that's a natural energy booster and vitamins or something. Most of the time it don't work. But what I think I'm starting to realize is I've been taking at least about a week or so back again some black oil in the capsule form from Swanson's. I used to have it where, you take it by a spoon. But I only took one a day, y'all. But I take it usually at the evening times or late evening or, sometimes where you might as well say night time when it's already past late into the evenings. And I think of y'all that it's giving me too much energy. So either I have to take it early or kind of let it wear off, because I'm other than that, I'm not taking anything else that is extra or out of ordinary that will have me wired like this. I was sleeping for a certain amount of time, but then I stayed up and just, sitting here how you doing? So I might as well just go ahead, y'all, and do another episode, which it is, of our Kings and Queens Next Door. I think it should be volume 85. Because like I said, y'all, I'm wait a minute. What is keeping me up? I thought I would have been by bed by now. I don't know why I'm up and wired like this. So, y'all, look up the benefits of black street oil. I basically just learned about the entry, because I used to take it before a couple of times, but didn't take it for some reason. It's one of those rare times where it works, and I don't know. It's just I just started taking black seed oil. It's still black seed oil, but it's in a capsule form. Most of the time it's you have to take by teaspoons, but personally I think it's better if for me to take it in capsule forms. And I know Swanson's vitamins sell that. I know I'm pitching little advertising, but yeah. So, since I am up, I might as well just go ahead and, depending on how I feel, either do one or two articles. Now, I said yesterday, for to be exact, was I was going to do Cab Calloway, and, since I keep hearing about this Cotton Club, just as much of it being part of Hunter Reeves, it might be most likely, or, being brought up in a few people I have talked about recently, that I'm let me go Google Cotton Club. So, yeah, I did look last night for the blackpass.org. I haven't been that site in a minute. And because they have a lot of good information, I need to go back to them. But anyway, Cotton Club of Harlem, which actually, they say it started in 1923, and it just has, fill in the blank. But this was actually, the article was updated on December 16th, 2007. And it was contributed by Elizabeth Winter. Okay. Opened in 1923, the Cotton Club at 142nd and St. Lennox Avenue in the heart of Harlem, New York, was operated by a white New York gangster, only Madden. Madden used the Cotton Club as an outlet to sell his quote-unquote number one beer to prohibition crowd. Although the club was briefly closed several times in the 1920s for selling alcohol, the owner's political connections allowed them to always reopen quickly. The Cotton Club was decorated with the idea of creating a stylish plantation environment for its entirely white clientele. As with many New York clubs in the time period, that meant the upper class of the city. The Cotton Club at first at first excluded all but white patrons, although the entertainers and most of the staff were African American. Exceptions to these restrictions were made in the case of prominent white entertainment star guests and the dancers. The dancers at the Comedy Club were held to strict standards. They had to be at least 5'6" tall, light-skinned, with only a slight tan, and under 21 years of age. So they want to barely legal and has to be passed the brown paper. Okay, you know what? Let me continue. The oppressive segregation of the Cotton Club was reinforced by the suspicion of the African American employees as exotic savages or plantation residents. The music was often orchestrated to bring to mind a jungle atmosphere. By transferring the club into this plantation atmosphere and bringing the celebrities, only men created a demand for the Cotton Club and its exclusionary policies that also helped perpetrate widely held stereotypes about African Americans. Shows at the Cotton Club were musical revenues that featured dancers, singers, comedians, and variety acts, as well as a house band. Duke Ellington led that band from 1927 to 1930, and sporadically throughout the next 8 years. The Cotton Club and Elliott's Orchestra gained national notoriety through weekly broadcasts on the radio station WXN, some of which were recorded and released on albums. The entertainers who played at the Cotton Club were some of the most widely known blues and jazz performers of their time, including Ethel Wellers, Cab Calloway, Ellington, and many others. The race riots of Harlem in 1945 forced the Cotton Club to close until 1936 when it reopened on Broadway, 38th Street. Okay, that was brief, y'all, so let me go ahead and read this other one real quick, or someone can. Now, I'm back to biography.com, and today we're going to be talking about Ray Charles, singer, songwriter, pianist, who was born in 1930 and passed away in 2004. Okay. Now, original was January 19, 2018, where this article was uploaded, but it was updated on August 12th, that's my niece's birthday, 2019. Ray Charles was a pioneer of soul music, integrating R&B, gospels, and pop, and country's great hits like Unchain My Heart, Hit the Road, Jack, Georgia on My Mind. A blind genius, he's considered one of the greatest artists of all time. Hypnosis. Born in Georgia in 1930, Ray Charles was a legendary musician who pioneered the genre of soul music during the 1950s. Often called the father of soul, Charles combined blues, gospel, and jazz to create groundbreaking hits such as Unchain My Heart, Hit the Road, Jack, and Georgia on My Mind. He died in 2004, leaving a lasting impression on contemporary music. I think when he passed away, y'all, it wasn't too long ago when it was based, kind of inspired based on his biography, life story, the movie, of course, which earned Jamie Foxx, I think, an Oscar for his groundbreaking performance in Ray. Okay, early life. Ray Charles Robinson was born on September 23rd, 1930, in Alabama, Georgia. His father, a mechanic, and his mother, a sharecropper, moved the family to Grayville, Florida, when he was an infant. One of the most traumatic events of his childhood was witnessing the drowning death of his younger brother. And soon after his brother's death, Charles gradually began to lose his sight. He was blind by the age of 7, and his mother sent him to a state-sponsored school, the Florida School for the Deaf and the Blind in St. Augustine, Florida, where he learned to read, write, and arrange music in Braille. He also learned to play piano, organ, sax, clarinet, and trumpet. The breadth of his musical interests ranged widely from gospel to country to blues. Musical evolution. Charles' mother died when he was 15, and for a year he toured with the Chitlin Circuit in the South. While on the road, he picked up a love for heroin. Wait. Okay. Reason why I want to slow down about what I'm saying, because I know they didn't incorporate the age, but let me give y'all a spoiler alert. If y'all seen the movie Ray, when he was doing the shake or go around this time or whatever, was it the same time there when he was messing with that woman? Wait a minute, was this some statutory? Okay, I'm just wondering because the time frame, based on what they're saying, if he was on the road at this time, I'm kind of wondering, is this around the same time? Okay, you know what? Y'all, let me continue. At the age of 16, Charles moved to Seattle. There he met young Quincy Jones, a friend and collaborator he would keep up for the rest of his life. Charles performed with the Mix-Son Trio in the 1940s. His early playing style closely resembled the works of his two major influences, Charles Brown and Nat King Cole. Charles soon later developed this distinctive sound. In 1949, he released his first single, Confession Blues, with the Magic Trio. The song did well on the R&B charts. More success on the R&B charts followed by the Baby Let Me Hold Your Hand and Kiss Me Baby. By 1953, Charles landed a deal with Atlantic Records. He celebrated his first R&B single with the label Mess Around. Critical acclaim. A year later, Charles' now classic song, I Got a Woman, reached number one on R&B charts. The song reflected advance in his music style. He was no longer an Nat King Cole intimidator. His fusion of gospel and R&B helped create a new musical genre known as soul. By the late 1950s, Charles began entertaining the world of jazz, cutting records with the members of the Modern Jazz Quartet. Fellow musicians began to call Charles the Genius, an appropriate title for the rambling musician who never worked just one style, but blended and beautified all that he touched it. He also earned the nickname Father of Soul. Charles' biggest success was perhaps his ability to cross over into pop music too, reaching number 6 on the chart charts and number 1 on the R&B charts on his hit What I Say. The year 1960 brought Charles his first Grammy Award for Georgia on My Mind, followed by another Grammy for the single hit The Road Jack. For his stay, he maintained a rare level of creative control over his own music. Charles broke down the boundaries of music genres in 1962 with modern sounds in country and western music. On this album, he gave his own soulful interpretations of many country classics. While thriving creativity, Charles struggled in his personal life. He continued battling with heroin addiction. In 1965, Charles was arrested for possession. Later career. Charles avoided jail after his arrest for possession by finally kicking the habit at a clinic in Los Angeles. His release in the 1960s and 70s were hit and miss, but he remained one of the musical's most respected stars. Charles won a Grammy for his rendition of Stevie Wonder's Living for the City. 3 years later, he released his autobiography, Brother Ray. In 1980, Charles appeared in the comedy The Blues Brothers with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. The music icon received a special honor a few years later as one of the first people inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Charles was recognized for his contributions to the genre alongside fellow humans such as James Brown, Elvis Presley, Sam Cooke, and Buddy Holly. Charles returned to the spotlight in the early 90s with several high-power appearances. Oh yeah, I knew I hoped they were going to bring up the commercials. He recorded commercials for the Pepsi Cola, like, you got the right one, baby. I did the part, but y'all probably remember the commercials back in the day, as his catchphrase, and performed We Are the World for the Organization USA for Africa, alongside the likes of Billy Joel, Diana Ross, Cyndi Lauper, Springsteen, and Smokey Robinson. Y'all, before I go to this last little part, I noticed they didn't have no links to the other famous people. All these people listed, not so far. Okay, let me continue. Death and legacy. In 2003, Charles had to cancel his tour for the first time in 53 years. He underwent hip replacement surgery. While the operation was successful, Charles he was suffering from liver disease. He died June 10, 2004, at his home in Beverly Hills, California. During his lifetime, Charles recorded more than 60 albums and performed more than 10,000 concerts. Longtime friend Quincy Jones were just many who mourned the passing of Charles. There will never be another musician who did as much to break down the perceived walls of musical genes. Jones stated, according to the New York Times. Ray used to say that if we had a dime, he would give me a nickel. Well, I would give that nickel back to him, back to him, still be here, to still have him here with us. But I know that heaven has a much better place with him in it. More than 1,500 people came to say goodbye to musical legend funeral. B.B. King, okay, again, ain't got no link to B.B. King singing on up here. Okay. B.B. King, Willie Nelson, Stevie Wonder were one of those who performed at the service. Charles, founder of Genius Loves Company, released 2 months after his death, consisted of duets with various admirers and contemporaries. His life story became a hit film entitled Ray later that year. Jamie Foxx starred as a legendary force, and he won his Academy Awards portrayal of Charles. Oh, well, I'm surprised they didn't talk about, him being married and children, but okay. But anyway, y'all, that is that, and I'm gonna go to bed now, okay, or start to go to bed soon anyway. But hugs and love, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of our Kings and Queens. Yeah, 9 times to 10, or well, actually 9.9 times 10, I will be back tomorrow. Okay, hugs and loves, everybody. Good night, good morning. Take care, y'all. Hugs and love.